Mr. Stewart, thank you so much for doing this interview.
A pleasure,
I must say, it's the first time that I'm actually on a Sandals property. Not bad.
What do you think?
Not bad at all. It's actually really, really amazing.
Beautiful.
So I love that you've been able to put the place together in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. It looks really good here at Duns River Sandals Sochi.
Well, it wasn't me, right? It was the Sandals Army.
Yeah, exactly. What an army. But let's talk about Hurricane Melissa for a bit, because I want to know how it affected you personally.
Yeah, well, when you work with people day in, day out, and you know that they're the backbone of your success, and there are so many people that directly that worked with us that were affected, and so many people in the communities that we live in that we're dependent on to be able to make the whole economy thrive, people that are neighbors. It is, you have to pick yourself up out of that moment and keep finding the resilience. And many people have asked me today, many of the international media for this event that we've been doing, how is it that we've stayed positive and kept going? And very openly, I would say to them that if you look at the resilience, and people use the word resilience all the time, but if you look at the absolute resilience, I've been coining and saying that Jamaicans have titanium backbones. It is amazing, the strength that Jamaica has demonstrated, and those who have been affected in devastating ways. So for me, I am personally grateful. I am clearly blessed to have the people around me that I do, and to work in this industry and to work with such strength and unity that has been shown. So personally, I'm in good shape, and I am so motivated by everything I witness and the people I work with and the things that we're able to do to try and help those less fortunate than us. So I just feel privileged to be where I am and to be able to play the role that we're playing.
I saw a video on social media, and you said confidently, Jamaica is going to be okay.
It is.
And it moved me when I heard you said it, because you said it with such confidence, and it highlighted the resilience of the Jamaican people. Why were you so confident at the time when you said it?
At that point, I had driven to the four corners of Jamaica, which I wanted to do. I got a Juta driver that I know very well. I got my team, and we went on a tour around Jamaica in a coaster bus. And everybody that we spoke to in our company, outside of the company, Jamaica was hit in different parts. There are the whole country got an element of it, but the main devastation, Jamaica is 152 miles wide, and you had the cone that was 10 miles and the bands of the hurricane 30. The parts of Jamaica that got hit were absolutely devastated, and the destruction, we have seen the pictures. The other side of it is the resilience and the parts of Jamaica that were, not nearly as affected. And what I have seen is a Jamaica unify. The police, the nurses, the doctors, customs and immigration. You name it. Juta, JCal, Maxi, the taxi drivers, the farmers, the fishers. And you're seeing the buzzword resilience happening in its natural motion. And that is Jamaica. And that is the spirit of Jamaica. So for me, it's just been extraordinary to witness and watch it come together. And once that speech I made was the first international speech, I was invited before the hurricane to a big conference with 5,000 travel advisors. These are the people that choose to sell Jamaica as a destination, as a career. And I had seen the resilience in motion, and I had felt the spirit of Jamaica being fully alive. And I'm acknowledging those who were harmed, and at the same time, I'm recognizing that those who are ready to turn on the economy again and get going. And I said it then, I'll say it again, Jamaica will be okay. We will come together as we have until every Jamaican community is put together. It has been tough, and it will be tough in parts, but you cannot deny the way public and private sector are coming together, the generosity overseas, the almost 1,000 relief flights of love that was sent from Canada and the United States. Jamaica has been a gift to the world, and it has given the gift of Jamaica to the world for decades. And what we're seeing in return is that love come back to us.
Several of resorts will be opening on December 6th. But how were you able to bounce back so quickly?
Well, the truth is that we weren't heavily affected in the towns of Ocho Rios and Negril.
Okay.
Scrapes, bruises, We took the opportunity, we closed for 30 days to give our team primarily a chance to catch themselves. Many of our team members have homes in St. Elizabeth or the southwest side of the island that were more affected. And we used the time to come back together, to reset. All of the hotels, the five of the 8 that were open in Negril and Montego and Ocho, fresh paint, new roofs in certain areas, spruce up the landscape. But generally, we weren't that affected. There are 3 hotels, Sandals South Coast, Sandals Montego Bay, and Sandals Royal Caribbean, that we have kept closed and will probably be closed for about another 6 months, primarily because we would not be able to pass our health and life safety standards to be able to reopen. So those hotels will get quite a lot of work done to them, and of course we'll take the opportunity to elevate them to the next level. But the same army that I talk about, the Jamaican people, our team members, our Sandals South Coast team members that had a direct hit. When I got there 3 days after the hurricane, 200 of them were in the hotel cleaning it up already, and that is Jamaica for you.
What you've highlighted is, making sure that the narrative out there is positive, right? And I want to question you in regards to why we haven't seen a lot of pictures of what's taking place in the resorts that were heavily hit. Is that something deliberate that you've done?
A bunch of it was on social media originally. I think first and foremost is the most important thing in life is human life safety. And while this storm was taking place and while the international media was covering it, if you watch the international media, you would think Jamaica has been wiped off of the map and it doesn't exist any longer. So you have to let the dust settle. And the first thing we have to do is catch ourselves, figure out where people are, understand where the communities that are most devastated. And, this is early day stuff, just trying to get a bearing on how bad things really were. And of course, the hotels then empty out. People go home, and different hotel companies will treat with their asset in the way that's for them. For me, tourism represents almost 40% directly and indirectly of our GDP. More than half of our foreign exchange in our economy comes through the tourism machine. Tourism directly and indirectly employs over 350,000 Jamaicans. And it's not just bartenders and waiters. It is the hardware stores. It is the supplies, the farmers, the fishers, the egg farmers. It's a whole, the taxi drivers, the tour operators, the pastors and the priests that officiate weddings, those who choose to come and get married in Jamaica. There's a whole infrastructure, and the tourism infrastructure of Jamaica, the private sector working with the government on either side of the political divide, it has been this way for a long time, do a very, very good job of coming together. The last time we had to come together like this was COVID. And not only did we come together, we led, we went first, and the Caribbean as a region was the fastest recovering tourism region on the planet. And that shows you the strength of our people, the capacities of them. So what we do in Jamaica a lot is we like to talk about the bad. And we like to sussy sometime and deal with, some of the negative. There's too much good coming out of this in terms of unity, not to highlight it. And that's why I stay positive.
You took care of your staff well, me included, gave quite a few of us a stimulus package. I reckon because that decision was made so quickly that there wasn't any hesitation to do so.
There was no hesitation. You must always, and we have always stood by our team. Our team, and my father, as I said, my father molded me like a piece of potty. But Stewart was the most unbelievably selfless, caring entrepreneur. A man who came from, no silver spoon in his mouth and built everything that his entities represent today. And from I was a child, I saw the generosity that he did for the people that defended his businesses and took care of his businesses. And we run our companies today with that very same philosophy. So we will always stand by our people, whether it's the Sandals Corporate University or the work that the Sandals Foundation does in the communities. But there are times that you can't hesitate. And there are times that you have to show up. And this was clearly one of those times. And the company showed up. And I get the credit, but I want to be clear that same Sandals Army and that ATL Army and that Jamaica Observer Army, we came together very quickly, banded together and made sure that our machine stayed intact and our people were taken care of. And I'm very proud of that.
There's a couple more questions because a few months ago you spoke about the diversification of the tourism product and you spoke about wellness tourism in particular. in these last few weeks, have you thought about that even more?
Yeah, I mean, Sandals will continue. Sandals and Beaches Resorts to diversify and to create new gastronomic fusion and journey. Wellness is an element of it. So wellness is much more than just gyms. You know, it's mental, it's physical, it's your diet, etc. But I also think the government of Jamaica, working with the private sector, has been looking more deeply at really looking at the natural sort of biodiversity of the country. You know, Portland is different to St. Elizabeth. I think Jason Hensel and what those guys have done down there, the Treasure Beach community is just phenomenal. It's a great product, a different product. Portland remains a great opportunity. St. Thomas. So I think we need more non-all-inclusives. And I say that as a major all-inclusive operator. Jamaica has a lot of all-inclusives now. We should, you know, I think we need a bit more lifestyle brands into the business. And, you know, Jamaica still has a lot of runway and opportunity where Jamaicans can participate, meaning the barrier to entry is not too high. And of course, on the supply chain side, it's huge. I mean, if you can sell it in Jamaica, tourism will consume it.
And final question, what have you learned as a leader these last few weeks?
Well, gratitude is a must, you know. As it is said, I have been reminded, not that I needed reminding, but just how resilient, and people use the word resilience, but I've seen resilience in motion, and I've seen us come together. And I think anytime we worry that the spirit of Jamaica might not be with us, I think this has shown us that is not the case. And I think we have been proven that the gifts Jamaica has given, whether athletics, gastronomical, musical, all of the things that Jamaica stands on the world stage and leads, all that love has come back to us. We're a love country and a love people. I think we're humble. I think we're learned. And out of this, I hope, more than anything, that we pick up the pieces, take care of those who need taking care of, that we don't let our memories, you know, fail us here, and that we reconstruct in a more progressive way for when the next storm comes along. And I just want to thank the people of Jamaica for just being so unbelievable right across the board. And you know, it'll take more than a hurricane to break us. I promise you that.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
My pleasure.
All the
Thank
best.
you. Come on.